Right, let's get cracking. Right, I've set the courses. I've literally done all 3 courses that we've got left to do. So let's go grab the. Yeah, we're gonna grab straw and all manner of things, aren't we? So let's grab. Yeah, I'm hoping. I think yesterday's session it was just a crash. I think we used to have that on. I was like panicking. I was thinking, oh no, it's like my mods are all. I always do that. It's because you're making mods. And like you do get errors with them. You like think, oh yeah, it's got to be my mod. It's not. It's not at all. Sometimes it can be that the game crashes anyway. It always did. You used to be able to crash mods. You like something would go wrong and it would crash the mod for the rest of the session. You'd have got to go back out, start the. It's like certain variables got. Oh, why are you not? Lou, I'm not being nasty like, but it's not rocket science what you got to do, and it really is. Right, okay, well let's make it easy. And I mean, it's an awful long way across the other side of the field for you to be able to work that out and see that little blue mark. Yeah, we will assist you, being as you seem to be challenged mentally about like where you're going and like and what is happening. Right, first waypoint. It's not terribly far away now. Leaves. Oh, you are going to fold them away to go 6 foot over there. No, it'd be a bit more than 6 foot, but yeah, I know what I mean. Seriously? It's someone at cosplay is very wanting, they like efficiency and they like to unload and like unfold at the right place. It's someone who's ultra efficient. I should introduce them to my boss Steve. Yes, because he's also a little bit like that. It's yeah, right. Are we gonna like do? Yeah, we are going to straws. Right, okay, let's get cracking. So this is to make a bit of fuel. Although really, I mean, I didn't know this at the time. It is a bit of a moot issue, really, that we need to be, because we don't really need to be like doing this anymore, do we? Right. So we want one for straw, which we're going to use this beautiful red and black one, which is not PI Industries. It is the Red Rock. Yeah, it's I can't remember. Did we extend this fully, or is it like, I think it's 30 odd tons? We did this for the little one, so he could actually pull this along. We shall whiz in our little pretend tractor, as it sort of is. Right, so did I? No, I abandoned ship, so let's like pull that across. Although, no, let's use this one for that. And the bigger one for the straw, I think. Let's not put it in the way, we'll leave it slightly on the edge, in the middle of the field if you're going to do this. It's not too terrible an idea, really. It should work. So it looks like a tractor, but it's not a tractor. And we do. Oh, I thought I had. I just actually stopped the engine. My bad. This is what you got to be careful of. Its height. Yeah, it's a bit whippy. Now, this might be a bit weird. I've tried to, for realism, to get a bit of depth on the fill planes to actually muck around with it, but I think I've gone a bit mad, so it might look a bit odd. So I apologise for that in advance. It will, of course, be rectified, but that's the entire reason for the testing we're doing, is the fact that obviously, you know, you're trying to get things right, so things might look a little bit odd to begin with. Yeah, it's true. I really do like this. Or is this not the fill planey one? Is this like normally flat? Because it might be, because it looks a bit odd, but it's about when it goes up now that it starts to look a bit weird. Oh, no, that's right. That is right. No, I don't think that'll get in the way. Now, of course, if we had a proper header, a helianthus, which I really like, the bottom line is we would be producing a lot of straw now. Instead of... Well, these aren't wispy like they used to be. Yeah, they used to be. It's ever so weird. On FS25, I would like... it took me a long time to figure out. I like this. I'm a terror sometimes the simplest of things, like, defeat me and I can't see it. Like, it took somebody else to very kindly point out the very obvious fact that I was speeding through time between 8 and 9 o'clock, which was an hour. I could not for the life of me see that. And then when they explained it, I thought, oh my, you absolute Wally, why could you not see that that was what was the problem was? It's so obvious. But then, I don't know, faff around. But then some things, like complicated things, oh, now those I can seemingly see sort of, it's a gift and a curse. I mean, I'm not complaining. I can sometimes see things that other people can't, that are really complicated, but the really simple things, sometimes I'm like, just cannot see it. I have to have it pointed out to me. Yeah, I'm a bit special like that. It's not necessarily a good thing, but yeah, no, it has its moments. Like all gifts, it can be good from one perspective. Well, he's managing the header very well, or she is managing the header very well, actually. The lady in, I should start to give her a name. What is her real name, as in what is this new mod giving her? It tends to favour foreign names. It is Tam, I think. I think it's Tam. Right, okay. Tam. Well, we are going to leave you to it, and we are going to like jump into our little pretend tractor. That isn't really a tractor at all, but it will. We are going to like grab this straw, and we're going to stick it in the other big trailer. Yeah, now you can see it's not producing an awful lot of straw. Now this is a real beaut for this kind of job on a little field. I'm not being nasty, but I don't think there's a baler or anything around. And this is what I recognise, that always in FS25, when Peasel missed a trick of doing something like this, but I have got to admire Peasel because he stuck to his guns about what he thought was right, and he like didn't think that was right. So. Whereas me, personally, I think it's a very, well, I mean, it's going to be tricky to get. It's only a little tiny bit on the side, isn't it? The other thing I found was that, I think we're short. It's hard, isn't it, for, like, perspective, because you can't really tell. Sort of guessing a bit. You're sort of, like, trying to gauge. Yeah, now this doesn't seemingly care about height. Now the one in the AGI pack, it is a bit particular about height. It does not like it. The higher you are, the less chance, or the more finicky it was, which was the STX 2051 or whatever. It was a beautiful bit of kit. Now that was my favourite until Dr. Drulia introduced me to his version of this, and now this is definitely. Ooh, I just ensconced. It came into my head. Okay, we'll use that very posh word. Yeah, no, it's eclipsed. I prefer eclipsed because most of us understand what that is, whereas I'm only vaguely familiar with what ensconced. I think it's to outshine or something like that, I think. So I hate using. It's true. It's sort of. I always find. My grandma was a teacher, and now she always taught us to use our vocabulary. But what I found, it personally, is people think you're showing off. You know, like, oh, you know loads of like posh words, and like I don't, and therefore, and then it becomes a point where actually it's not a good positive thing, because people are actually, yeah, they're not happy. You know, you're not making it and I think if you're going to try to like upset people, well, you're not trying to, but what I mean is if you are going to upset people with like doing things like, it's better not to do it in the first place. Just use simple words. The other thing is, it's alright, you know, using your posh vocabulary, but like if people don't understand the word anyway, then it's, what's the point? I used to think, because obviously my grandma, I've got the utmost respect for her. She was one of the most key players in my life in like people that you admire and role models that you choose. My grandma was definitely that. She was a very strong, moral lady, and oh, okay, we've missed a bit of a line for some reason. Now that is actually auto-saving. If you go in, it doesn't mean, yeah, it's strange. I went in yesterday after seeing the message and it auto-saved. Well, I think it is actually telling you that it's actually saving for you, but obviously it doesn't do that horrible auto-save. It did do it once yesterday, but it doesn't normally do that. Wow, I don't think I've ever picked up a straw off a field. Apologies, I'm just woken up and you tend to be yawning, but like you're tired, but you're actually not. You're just sort of waking up. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely a phenomenon. Yeah, so I try not to too much show off vocabulary because it's a cause for contention rather than a cause for rejoicing. So yeah, personally I like to think, oh no, leave it alone, because most of the time, yeah, no, it's going up. It's actually doing the straw, is it? Oh, I'm stuck. Oh, it does. Yeah, this is the bit. It's the bit defeated by when you're like going into this new. Yeah, it does get caught a little. It's 50 horsepower, just enough. This is what I was actually saying about the. No, I am a massive fan of the. And where are you going? Like, what possibly... Why are you going into that field, Tam? Well, you're not kidding, you left the course. We all worked that one out about 30 seconds ago. Now you're going to probably like go, no, I can't do that. And do you know, seriously? Will you let me in? Oh, it won't actually. It won't let me in there. This is what I was talking about, things crashing and burning. Oh, not in transport mode, malarkey. So you've like gone into my field. Now you're gonna force me to jump in and wreck my crop, and I'm in the middle of the field. Courseplay? Thank you very much. What does it mean, not in transport? I've always wondered what this means. Does it mean... Is it because it's not closed? But this is not courseplay. This is like standard worker now. So does the worker also require it all to be folded away, which is impossible when you've got crop in it? Yeah, I've always wanted to know. Thank you. Thank you very much, Courseplay, for destroying my crop. And now I've got no choice whatsoever but to like wreck crop, you absolute monster. Do you know the amount of times? Oh. Apologies for the rant, but oh, it does so annoy me. Oh. Right, okay. Let's change the course to 84. That's now half wrecked. It's still a good system. Well, it's piggybacking off Giants, so Williams 84 clear load. Is that right? Yes, it is. Right, okay. And it is. Yeah, well, let's put the worker near to the point where it is starting, which I think is about there. And let's do that, or they'll moan about that as well. So first waypoint, let's please, I've even assisted you on your where you need to go and everything. Right, okay, let's get that offloaded into our silo. It just does, well, let's be honest, if you were a farmer and crop was important to you, wouldn't it enrage you a bit if some wally rolled into your field? I mean, obviously we know in real life they'd wreck your crop themselves, but that's true. We should be bringing that. I do love that. I've got to be honest, I'm massive. I love Rolly Christie's work, and it always shocked me a bit that he never fixed that in FS22. It was awful. It was like so heavy, his trailer. And I thought, yeah, it's Rolly Christie, he'll fix that. Definitely, because it's Rolly Christie. But he didn't. But he has now, finally, FS25. Why are you doing that? This is not the one you're even talking about. Yeah, he has now done this, so let's actually use this, because it's a bit of a beauty. I mean, his like price structure for his trailers backs are absolutely phenomenal. Can I remember how to shut this? Oh, I need to be on the right one though. That always helps. That's it. That's it. No good having those open like that. Let's get this over, and the harvester can stick it in here, and we can crack on with our straw in the silver one. Yes, I was mucking around with that new Orion lookalike yesterday, just to see if I could actually do something about making it look without not too much major modelling. But so far, well, no, it was only a little bit of a. I was seeing if I could use decals to make it look pretty, really. But I might actually just. Oh, we missed a bit of it, didn't we? A little tiny bit on that field. Yeah. Right, I think it's time next time. Otherwise, this is going to be a monster session. It'll obviously we have got all the sessions, so this is not going to be the end. As in, like, yeah, there's got an awful lot of work we've got to do. Now, I did think for the catching up stage. Now, obviously, for realism, we have taken all of our goods down to the sell point, which I think for once is more realistic, because it's on the side of a road, and it's on the side of a road, like in a place where people would pass, which is obviously what you really want if you're buying a little. You've got a market stall on the edge of a road. You want the more people that pass, the more you're going to sell. Is the premise at least. So we've done that to like observe realism. But I was thinking, how far are you going? They don't have come back a long way. Yeah, what I was thinking was, if we are going to do the catching up stage, then it's not about realism anymore. It's about like we need to do this the quickest possible way. So I'm going to put another one down up this end, so that we just have to roll from one place to another quickly, because obviously at that point it's more about you seeing how well you did on the Let's Play. And I think we're going to do very, very well on this, with obviously the fact that we've got that plus basically that's going to gain us an extra 50%, but we're already doing terribly well as well. It'd be interesting to see. Yeah, I would like to just see that, because this is not hurting. Let's just go and see. The little one will do, actually. And also, have we fed our animal? I think we have. Oh, it started your engine. Let's just check. I think that you'll find that we did it like yesterday. We did. I thought we did. Right. There's not 148 tons. It is lying. I think it was 8 tons. So we want to borrow the water tanker, because I want to see if it's crashing and burning today, or whether it's like, I still do need, it's true that what I said though, I need to widen the axle. It needs to be, I think, a little tiny bit. It's a lot more stable than it was, but it's still, that's right, it wouldn't do the buffalo milk, would it? I think it had crashed and burned. Oh, seriously. Blocked by an object, indeed. You are blocked by what? Tam. Oh, a tree. Right, well, I can't imagine that being the most terrible thing to work out, really. But, you know, obviously, we know we're just readying our, because our worker is incapable of working out a real simple problem. Right, okay, let's not go too near us now. Fantastic. Let's leave that be, and we'll grab that tanker, because I'm intrigued to see if this is working today, whether it was a crash and burn problem, or whether it... No, it really... because it did used to work. It used to be somewhere about over here. Like somewhere here-ish. Yeah. So I think it just crashed and burned. It's a bit temperamental, but it is actually very close to... Oh, my life. What is it with you, workers? Oh, my life. Okay, well... Yeah, well, it's such a terrible problem, that one. Really. You know, that you can't figure that one out. Gordon Bennett. Seriously? Artificially intelligent? Artificial Wally? That is the real question. Yeah. Right, so then, we figured that one out. There's definitely nothing wrong with this. It really is down to that something crashed and burned yesterday, because it's today performing exactly as it should have done. Now then, do we need more water? I think we did. We do use a lot of water. I still haven't adjusted. I was busy doing a lot of things, mainly increasing the capacity of the hopper on Oak City. I am going to do a proper job. It's not a bad effort for like... Now then, this is true. Yeah, I need to be near this one. I think this should be... Yeah, it is. Fantastic. We also then need to be close to the dump, which is not far off where we are. Might be a bit further forward, actually. I think it's more closer, like, outwards. It's a bit here. About this edge somewhere. Just a little bit temperamental. And now it's actually where it should be. Go figure. Go figure. Oh, my life. We're likely to lose it. Yeah, I'm going to say. It's a bit temperamental, but it's actually about where it should be. It's just a little bit temperamental. So actually, now it's right where it should be. Now we're going to have to move the tap again. Do you know, seriously, you could not write this, could you? You could not make this up. We moved the tap yesterday because it was in the right place, and now I did do a little work because I was sick to death of this, like, being as it is. So let's sell. It's actually now looks about where it should be. It's over the grate, which is obviously really where it always should have been. For some reason it wasn't actually where it should have been at all. So if we stick that like that. Now, it's nowhere near the real nozzle. So we start filling. We should also be able to dump as well. I think we can then fill that to the very top, because we're going to need a fill. Oh, it's done. It's actually done. Yeah. Excellent. So we need to stick the sunflowers on the biodiesel, the right one, which is that very one. You were very... Look, storing is what we want, and... You won't let me dump it. It's filled. Yeah, that's it. Job is a good one. Excellent. So that looks like I have actually finally got that in the right place. Ish. Right. Yes, I was tweaking the fill planes on this yesterday, and but not this model. Yeah, the model that I've got is on my testing lap. This is the one that we left where it looks flat, because obviously there's no point in like giving it capacity and then showing a flat, you know, plane, because it looks odd. Because it's sort of like saying, well, actually, all that work I've done to make this have a hopper at the bottom is a waste of time, because it's not actually using it. So yeah, it's true. It looks as flat as a pancake. So I'm trying to make it bigger, but it's a weird shape. But I suppose actually, when I look at the shape of the belt, it's the right shape for the belt. Yeah, I was like saying, oh, I would have thought it was bent. It actually, it's true. Although it starts off like that, it starts to go bulbous. You know, like when things have got capacity, it will start to like go round the other way. So it's almost impossible for me to achieve getting a fill plane right based upon the original fill plane. But yeah, we'll just work with what we've got. It's got to really hug to the belt, so I've just got to try to give it a bit of depth somehow, which I'm sure I can. Well, I can. I did start to, but it looked a bit odd because I went a bit mad, as you do sometimes. Yeah, well, as I say, it is weird with i3Ds. As a modder, you can't see what Oh, I'm nearly there, aren't I? I may as well go and empty this. Yeah, you can't see what you're actually doing. All you've got is little tiny pointers. The game fills the graphics in inside the game, so you can't see what this looks like. You've just got a little tiny pointer. It's the same as, it's a nightmare when you're working on tension belts. It's one of the worst that I personally have found. It's needs to be unloaded. Right, okay, even though you've got self-unload on, you are deciding that, right, okay. Arnie? Is it Arnie? App key. It's app key. Strange name. Oh, and then we changed to Imri. Yeah, very, very. There's an awful. I would. That's the one thing that is a little odd. Obviously, it's sort of. It's better than worker A and worker B and worker C. And it's. I mean, that's to strip all humanity from supposedly human workers that are artificially intelligent or not quite so artificially challenged as they're programmed. They're very definitely It's true. They are not programmed the best. We all know this. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's monstrous. The other thing is, I've got to say that in Giant's defense, to create something that, like, with like the level of control that you want, like if there is an object in front of me, I need to shift out the way, and like there's, or I said it, I simplified it. I said, oh, it's just putting an if this then that statements. You know, like, well, if I do this, then I need to, like, if I got a problem which stops me from doing the task at hand, then what do I do? And you then got to give it options of, like, to make a choice, which is no different to a human being when we're like young and you're forming your ability to think. You're training and you're giving yourself options. Your mum and your dad and your teacher and all the people that you respect will give you options. Not all good. Some people are like bads to begin with, so therefore they'll give you bad options. My dad, who I love dearly, now he had a role model in my Uncle Jack, and my Uncle Jack was a bit of a wide boy, as the saying, which means he was a little bit bent, as in, like, I don't mean that in a way, I mean he was a little bit of an illegal type person he was a bit of a thief. Sorry, Uncle Jack, but nobody knows who you are, so yeah, it's he was a bit of a tea leaf. So he was, my dad, he was a bit of a, like, my dad sort of fell in love with the idea of Uncle Jack, and he sort of like learnt from him, and he admired those kind of negative bad things, and in later years it got him into trouble, and he did pay the price for his cleverness, but all the way through his life he was a bit of a terror for, like, yeah, thinking it was right to be wrong, basically, and it's not. Wrong is wrong, right is right. You know, like, but he fell in love with Uncle Jack, as in the way that Uncle Jack did things more than anything. But that's bad. Role models, very important. And Uncle Jack was not the right kind of role model, but somehow he made thievery. Wow, that did like a weird jump. No, oh, it's because it's doing the. Okay, that'll do. We're right next door, so it's not at the end of the world. We're literally right next door. Ooh, it's just crushed a little bit of. Yeah, so it is. Role models are important, but it's obviously, like, as kids, you sometimes get the, you know, like, bad people can make things bad look good, and Uncle Jack obviously did, and my dad liked the idea of, like, being, yeah, bad. As in, like, he thought it was good, and it's not. It's not. Thievery is. It hurts somebody. It does. And my dad, like, in his younger years, was a little bit of a terror. And he was also very clever with it. That was what. I'll tell you a story, because you don't know my dad. And he's. Yeah, he learned his lesson. He did turn his tricks around. He's not. Yeah, he did pay the price, and it did sort of teach him a lesson. And that Uncle Jack really, you know, that falling in love with that kind of wide boy, cheeky, chappy. It's still what he did was wrong, and like he realised that. But yeah, in his younger days when he was following in Uncle Jack's. He worked for a company called Quadraline, and they were a chemical specialist. It was a really good job, and my dad, being who he is, it was a game to him to try to beat Quadraline. So he used to he used to do some work for the family as well, because my family was in coal. We were like actually very, very, one of the biggest coal merchants in Derby. Like my family was sort of like in that for a long while. No, we can't go in there. She would be, now Grandma Smith, who I never met, she was a real businesswoman, and she would have been horrified at how my family turned the business around from like a success to an absolute failure, but that will not go that way. But the bottom line is, my dad used to fill his wagon with Quadraline's fuel, but he did it in such a way that they knew he was stealing from them. They knew it, but he did it in such a clever way that you couldn't prove that he'd done it. He did some trick that you could see that, but you couldn't see what he'd done or how he did it. So in the end, like, they got him in the office and said, "Look, John, we know you're doing it. We can't prove it, but we're gonna have to let you go." So they couldn't prosecute him because they'd got no evidence of how he did it, but they knew he did it, but they didn't know how he'd done it. They couldn't prove that he'd done it because he'd covered his tracks well, but it was still wrong, and as I said, it did actually in the end did catch him out, and he did wend his ways, and he did literally pay the ultimate price, as many people do. One day you're going to get caught, and he did, and he had to pay the price for that, which is right. You can't go against the law, and of course, again, we do live in a time where thievery is, there's loads of programs about how good it is, a bit making like Uncle Jack's all famous and good because it's good to be bad. Well, it's not really, but yeah, while you got programs that show that thievery and bad things are good, then you're going to get people go into thievery because they like love the idea of like getting away with it, the buzz of getting away with it. And obviously, while films are highlighting this as a thing, then yeah, that's going to get a lot of young people, because you're making bad role models. Really? Yeah, it's a shame about the grass. Obviously, we're not doing the last cut because we're still processing already hundreds of tons still. I will improve that for the next Let's Play, though. Here's the one thing. Yeah, I've got to tweak a little bit of the self-sufficiency because it's a little bit too good in some areas and a little bit terrible in other areas. So, yeah. Now, I just want to do a bit of a test. Now, how close do we need to get to those mineral feeds? Now, the other thing is, yeah, we're going to like be in front of the nozzle too, so it depends, yeah. I think that would get us from the nozzle rather than over there. So I think if I move those just a little bit, they're going to be out of the way. Now, the other thing is, thinking about this, obviously I'm trying to get this so you're not filling from your pallets, because it's going to be annoying. I want that to be clearly from there. If we push this backwards a bit, now I know it goes against the norm. Normally the first bits, the yellow bits are here, and then your second yellow bits are normally right next door, but it is possible for us to move them wherever we like, so we could push them back here, and then it's at the side of this. Yes, I know it takes a bit of space up, but it then means that your nozzle is completely away from here, and that I don't need to create a pusher, because I've created a problem because of proximity to this. So yeah, I think that is what I'm going to run with. Just move it a little bit, yeah, because I'm not sure that we're not going to fill from those pallets, which is I think will be waiting for me. I think Tady. Okay, it's just waiting there. I think they're finished though. Pretty much. Now that doesn't seem an awful lot of corn really for saying that we just a little field. It is. I was going to say, let's be honest. Now that's interesting. So Rawley Christie's doesn't, because of the way that it doesn't show the capacity on that trailer. Oh, is that? It is on skew-if, isn't it? the trailer back's not on right. Wow. I imagine it was like pulling a bit weird, so yeah. Right, let's the arm in and before not crash into the... oh, let's also grab that bit that's right next door to that. Because we are doing another cornfield. It's waste not whatnot, as the old saying goes. Yeah, so I suppose what I'm saying with the role models, my role model was my grandma, who was as honest as the days are long, and she really was. But not only that, she had a heart of gold. She was a teacher, and what assets, what skills that she'd got, she spent her spare time teaching people who were illiterate to actually read, because it was very important to her that people didn't get mocked, and she would teach people who were frequently stubborn and adults. All of us are terrible to be taught as an adult, especially if there's a bit of a stigma where people think, oh no, that's not how you do it now, Mr. Smith. Yeah, it is true. There's always a bit of a stigma. If you as an adult you can't read, it's one of those things other adults tend to think, ooh, you know what I mean, and they shouldn't really. It's something to be... Now then, where do we to start point? We're not too far away, so it shouldn't really work out. It'd be terribly hard for this to work out where the start point is if I put it right next to it. It is. So as adults, we're all a bit touchy because we know that perhaps we should have learnt now. It's a bit... that tree might well be in the way. It may well be. So we're going to hang around, I think, and just make sure that this can work out, that tree is... or we might be lucky and it's not in the way. It's horrible to see that trees are still the nemesis of the normal workers. Well, actually, any object, really, yeah. For as much as giants are making attempts that this is fixed, it's not. They still sometimes try and reverse that, and other times they just totally don't care at all. Right, I'm going to go into a time because this is otherwise going to be a monster session. So, yeah, I'm going to see you guys and gals on the other. No, actually, no, we would carry. If I have to split, I have to split it. Yeah, so my grandma was, and I admired her. She drove for age concern. She was not a spring chicken either herself at this time. She had a heart attack as well. Our family sort of, like a lot of families have these traits and certain things that, you know, like in the DNA of the family, you could say, is the easiest way I'm going to put it. So she had a predisposition to heart attacks, which is obviously something I've not escaped my notice. I've got a bit of a... I think it's a little... I'm not sure, actually, if we've actually gone past it. Oh no, it's a bit hard to work that one out. Right, fantastic. Excellent. So, on our last field of harvest, on this beautiful farm that is in the area Rettenbach. Yeah, it's one of the agrars, but yeah, I can't remember which one. Yeah. I can't. Let's have a look. Let's correct this. We don't want any half-baked, you're going to lose the sound from the game, but I apologise for this. But we've got to give the modder the glory for what their name is. It's important. I will feel very strongly about this as a modder. It is by B4yernG4mingsAgrar. I knew it was an agrar. I knew it was one of the agrars. Yes, so B4yernG4mingsAgrar. It is a cracking mod. It's a mod, yeah. It's a big mod, but it is still a mod. It's a cracking map. I like it a lot. I say the only thing I've still, which again, I think it's their first, but I might be wrong. But I would say that I don't think they'll make that error again, because I'm sure that I'm not the only one that's pointed out that they gave us a tractor that couldn't do the job. And I would say that if you're going to give someone a starting lineup of equipment, that obviously it's why most tend to give you like 3-meter equipment, because really, yeah, your equipment's not usually very heavy. You know, people don't normally give you like a 350 horsepower tractor, not very often. JM Game does occasionally, and Missy B does sometimes as well, but most, well, so did Neverland. But if if the design, oh, that's weird. We've got a bit of like, somehow we managed to plant some of our corn on the edge of next door's field. No, it's the same block, but it's actually trying to fix itself. See, this is, it's being sort of given options, and it's actually choosing to use them. Right, so let's grab this. Yeah, that's giant. See, they did actually try to do a bit of program, but it makes the workers faffy. But you can't have it both ways. You either have a worker that's faffy, or you have a worker that gets stuck, because it's got to try to be given options, and giants have given it options. Well, you just need to pull backwards, mate, and just turn around a bit and see if you can get out of the problem, and that it did. But we have also seen that it doesn't always do that, so perhaps some workers are mentally challenged. In other words, yeah, you know, like, I don't know when they're created, like, some of them are like humans, some are clever and some are not so clever in certain situations. Yeah, I'm going to put it like that. Right, fantastic. So that is managing that 6-metre header very nicely, which is nice to know. I do like this little Massey. But my next thing, I think the next thing I'd like to do is a harvester. I've not done any harvesters at all. Well, apart from the beautiful Amity, that is a harvester, sort of, but it's, yeah, I haven't done any, like, self-propelled harvesters yet, and I'm choosing, as my model, probably the weakest one in the game. See, they do come back an awful long way, but I think it's the Rosselmash. I love the shape of the Rosselmash. It's beautiful, it really is, but I need to make it bigger, because then its hold is bigger. So, but I also need to give it a better engine, obviously. It's no good, like, making it big and then, like, it's got a little tiny engine, because it won't be able to pull itself, let alone carry any load or you know, manage a header. So I'm going to do a bit of a Colossus trick, but I've always liked this. It's the reason why I've done a small tractor with a big engine, because I've got to be honest, for agility, it has to be fairly small. The bigger ones, I mean, even all of the big tractors that I love in the game, none of them are really agile, because they can't, because they're big. But you can make an engine bigger, as in, like, you could make a, now you've got to soup up your, the ability to hold the engine, but that's a little tiny compromise. Now, your mass is always going to be bad. There were some masses in FS22 at the beginning. They were like 280 horsepower, but they were not much heavier than their smaller counterparts. So therefore, you needed to stick a weight on them if you were going to use one of the bigger seeders. But that's not the end of the world. So I could live with that. So I did. I used to put weights on them a few times. I think it was the European map, the FS25 that I had this Massey on. I don't think, actually, it was one that I never aired it. Yeah, because everyone had seen FS25 to death, and I did it. It was a really good Let's Play, but it was one of those I thought, oh, I don't know that everyone will want to see FS25 again. It's a shame, because it was a really good, it was a contract start, and I really did enjoy it, and I did very well at it, but I was quite stringent. But we did very, very well. But it was literally from nowhere. It was one of those, we started with nothing except a vehicle, which was, oh, was it DD Mod Passion that made it? Yeah, this will be split, definitely. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to be wandering into a second. We ought, no, let's let it do its thing. Right. Is there anything we can do? I think we've done everything. I just don't think, well, no, I suppose we could be. Logging, no, did we put, no, we haven't. We need to grab a trailer, don't we? Yeah, but, let's just quickly dump this. It's the other one who's got the right trailer. It's this one. I'm confusing myself now. No, it's over here. It is. Yeah, so obviously size and wheelbase is important for, like, how you turn, and the smaller the tractor, the smaller the space between the wheels, the better it is at turning. And also speed is also another thing that is a Right, so we can stick this straight in the... Yeah, now I don't know what happens to make this multiply. So we shall see, we're putting 12 odd tons in here. I don't know why it would go wrong, but it did. We definitely did not cheat, but for some reason it's reading that we've got a shed load of stuff in there. I managed that quite well. That's 40 odd tons of water. Oh, I think I did that naughty trick of like telling it it's only got 17 tons in, which is why that's not struggling, because it can manage 17 tons, whereas really it's got nearly 40. Yeah, I did the mass trick of where it's like not sort of showing. Yeah, that is well not on right, is it? But it was only just released, and Rawley has actually changed his model a little. For the better, I might add. I mean, as in like that. So there's always going to be something that's not quite right. Yeah, it's not quite like got it in the middle. Yeah, the front, it's not quite pulling right. But I'm sure he will fix it. If we... Well, let's just try. If we like... drop that down and then pull it back up, will it like straighten it out? Was it because I pulled it on odd at a weird angle and it never fixes that? Let's have a look. Let's see if we pull it on straight now, will that level it to be exactly right? Is it just that did it? No, it's not actually, it's skew-iffed. Right, okay, I'm sure Rawley Christie will fix that. I'm quite sure as the professional that he is, he's not going to put up with like something not being right to that extent. Or I've like got him wrong all of these years. He's not that kind of modder, I'm sure. Yeah, and we're right next to you. You can't work out that's a trailer, can you? Okay. That there is a trailer. You can go straight in it. Obviously the worker couldn't work that out, so it's not clearly identified as a trailer to the worker. Yeah, the other thing you can see clearly missing is it's not showing any capacity, as in like you normally get that little thing where it's showing you, my trailers say, because mine are based on the Giants ones, it says like it shows you the capacity bar. This is not reading that as a trailer, which is why the AI are like not thinking it's a trailer, which it obviously is. We know this, but they don't. Let's crack on there. So we're going to have to empty every single time because it doesn't know that that's a trailer. Let's bring that a bit away because it might do ups and downs as well. So it's never going to try to self-unload on this with this trailer because it doesn't know it's a trailer. Right, let's grab that straw so we've now got quite another like set. Yeah, so thank you, Dr. Drewley, for the idea of this. It really is beautiful what you did. I just think I've improved it personally. I think I have. And obviously I'm going to do the field plane so it looks a bit more like less flat, because obviously it's at the minute it's not got the ability to show it's got capacity, even though it has. So it looks it's a bit of a bit cheeky at the minute because it's obviously not as it should be in real life. But we will rectify this. Well, I have sort of, but I've got a bit too mad on the one on the. Right, so we need to grab because we're nearly there. Let's do that, and then we'll grab the straw back. If I can try and figure out which is the right one. Right, excellent. So really, I don't think we're doing too bad. We've stripped the straw off. We've got we need to switch the corn one on, which we can do right now. Oh, no, we can't in a way because our capacity is reached. We do need to distribute the mineral feed, I believe. So we are going to like not do storing. We are going to do distributing, and we're going to tell the closest production silo to store, and we're going to activate the mineral feed if I've got mineral feed in. If I've got the right one selected, that is. Oh, I have as well. So, oh, it is activated. That's so. I was on about this, wasn't I? Why is it called for the min? Well, it's activated, so I must have done it inadvertently. So let's do it on this one too, so that we've got. We can have then 1.25 million between all. No, it's 500, 750. No, it must be 500. I must have increased the capacity in this self-sufficiency to 500,000. I have. So it'd be 1 million litres in total across the entire estate of mineral feed that we can actually store. Now the other one actually is the one we want. So between all three, activate storing. Brilliant. So that's now going to shout for that. So now we can switch that on. Let's just speed time up. It's not going to hurt. It's only like just past 10 o'clock. So, oh, no, the rain. No, for once it does matter, because I don't know what time the rain's going to come. The amount of times I've done tricks like that. When is it going to rain? Oh, 12 o'clock, you see. We can't even afford an hour. Yes, we'll leave it be. Yeah, so it is true. If you make it attractive to be bad, which it is, you know, like these movies make out, you know, these grand heists, they make it sexy to be a thief, then to be honest, you're in for trouble, because you're teaching immoral behaviour as being something that is desirable and sexy and good. So you're going to appeal to certain people that, oh, it's good to be bad. Well, it's not at all. You always, as a thief, there's a hidden side to like being a thief, like my dad and like Uncle Jack, is that whoever you steal from is always, it's horrible. Now, my dad even did it on the coal business. We'll tell you another story. My Uncle Al was, as honest as the day was long, but he was a quiet person. And people were always suspicious of him, like he was dodgy. You know, he'd got that, he was creepy, people thought, because he was quiet, and he made them nervous. But he would never ever have hurt anybody. He was that kind of person. He was a lovely guy, my Uncle Al. Again, as honest as the day was long. And my dad was like, people loved him. He was a real character, a real charmer, a real Uncle Jack. But he would like rob you with his left hand while he was like making, you know, like all the right noises to you with his right hand. He was good at his skill of like sort of charming you. And it's not good, because pain is caused. But the other thing is that my Uncle Al was the one that people thought was stealing from them. Someone knew that they were like, they realised there were a few discrepancies, that they paid for 8 bags of coal to be delivered, but they thought they'd been shortchanged. Now, obviously, my dad was probably leaving one on the wagon and unloading 7 of the 8 bags. But when they looked at the coal, there was no proof, because obviously the coal man had actually put it all in the coal house. But they would sort of think, well, hang on a minute, it normally goes up to this board in my coal house. You see, and that's what I'm saying. People like my dad and that, they thought they were being clever, but people aren't silly. But the trouble is, not only, it was my Uncle Al that used to get the blame. He was the one that, the shifty one, it's that shifty one, he's the one that's like doing it. You know, it wouldn't be Val. No, it wouldn't be Val that would do that to us. He's always making all the right noises, and he's really friendly and a real charmer. Yeah, he is. So you're right. It wouldn't be him, would it, that was taken from you? For that, the buzz of thinking he'd got away with it, and thinking he'd like, because he hadn't. He was not as clever as he thought he was. The people were working it out, and they were blaming the wrong person. But again, we live in a society where certain people making certain films are making it sexy to be one of these really good thieves. It's not at all. You're going to cause pain. Yeah, it's not nice to have things stolen, ever. It's a horrible thing when someone's stolen even a pen at school. It all starts small. and then it'll work to something big, and these thieves think it's fantastic, and it becomes part of their personality, and it's all not good at all. But they think it is, and society, the wrong kind of society, teaching you that it's right, and it really isn't at all right. Right, so no, we can't. We are going to earn a fortune from this next sort of time. I think it'll be the cashing up stage when we've done all this. Obviously, there's going to be a bit of processing, so I would say it's going to be a longer cashing up stage than normally, and there's got quite a lot of lugging to do. As I said, we're going to do it though where the lugging is. Oh wow, it's nearly time for me to go to work. My phone's switching on. It does it at 5 to 7 ish. Actually 10 to nearly. Oh wow, that's good. The deers actually make part the things they run through. That's clever. It is. That's what I say. I really do. Giants do some fantastic things. I was sort of saying one day about why the AI is not as clever as it could be, and then I got sidetracked because a worker will have like distracted me, and I'll have like forgotten I was talking about it, and I'll have gone on to something else. Yeah, the data requirements. Now, obviously, Giants make a game, and within this game, they do absolute wonders of compression. They do. It's amazing. Now, I personally, as a modder, there was a comment made on the forums where someone was asking for help of Giants, and it was one of Giants' staff, and it did teach me something. I've said a few times, I don't particularly think, I mean, Giants know that people like the mods, and they're not, like, they don't do the mods, whereas people like mods, and it sells the game. People really do like the mods, more so than the Giants base game stuff, and it's true, I do too, I've got to be honest. The recipes from Giants in their factories are rubbish, and they make no sense. The cereal factory in FS25 was absolutely, it was a nightmare, and it didn't make any business sense at all. A lot of modders, a lot of their productions make no sense. I did a fantastic, beautiful, a modder had spent hours on making this tree plant thing. I think there's another one released, it might be Peasel, but hopefully this one will make some monetary sense. Now, it was a fantastic mod, and I was thinking, I'm losing money. Why am I losing money? Because my products, my inputs cost a lot of cash, and the outputs, okay, and the outputs didn't make me enough, so I actually bit by bit lost money on this beautiful mod that obviously a modder had done, and it really was fantastic. It looked glorious, and I thought, I've meant to do this for ages, let's do it. Well, I ripped it from a mod straight afterwards, because it was like, it made no sense. You've got to make profit, whether it's a little bit or not. Sugar is something in FS25 that is not terribly good, but it's not terrible. It's really, wow, it's really skewed, isn't it? Wow, I'm sure Roy Chris to be on it. I've lost my tack now with doing that. What was I going on about? Quite a few things. I would finish one story first before wandering to another. Yes, so Giants would have to, it's obviously the game's already big, but I've got to be honest, Giants make wonders. They've squozen physics into this game and all manner of things. And it is fantastic for that fact, because it is not easy what they've done. So that's the positive spin on Giants. Now, obviously, with the productions, as I said, now some of their recipes, I have no idea why they appear to be wanting to appear to be so bad at making productions. The cereal factory is the bestest. It's the best one. If you work out input by input of how much you're going to break, you almost break even. I think there's probably you might make 0.5% or 1% profit, and I'm still not sure you make profit because you've got the production facility costs that you pay for, so I think you actually lose on it, but it was very close. Like, whereas JM Gaming's, when he first released the bioplastics, I said, you're not going to make money on that. You need to adjust it a little. It's got to be like And he did. I personally still don't think he adjusted it quite enough. You need quite a lot of inputs to make your plastics, but it does make profits, and quite a bit. Now, obviously, there are some things that the best in the game would be silage additive, which is why giants don't let you sell it, because you'd be a millionaire with just a little bit, because it's just worth, it's like liquid gold. So, of course, you can't sell it, which I found that out on Oakbridge Farm when I tried to sell it, and I was like, I can't sell it. Well, no, you can't, because if you sold that 1,000 litres, you'd have earned hundreds of thousands based upon the price of the silage additive. So now I only, even on my own thing, I only make a little bit, which would be for you to use yourself in a self-sufficiency. I don't anymore make it for any other reason. It's not a business. I was trying to approach it as a business, but I'd not realised at that point just how lucrative it would be if you could sell silage additive. So, but there are obviously not all businesses are equal. I mean, it's obviously Missy B, one that I really love, and she's not released it yet for FS25. I hope she does. Is the one, Slurry Yard. I couldn't think of its name for a second. Yeah, the Slurry Yards. It is a beautiful bit of kit. Now, obviously, she's sort of enhancing this. No, it's not you. It is. I can't click off it. It's you that I want. Yeah, the slurry yard, a fantastic thing. Obviously, she's adjusting the price of how much slurry is on the sale point so that you can actually make profit from selling slurry and things that are normally not worth much. Now, it's really, I've got a theory about this. I think it's a secret government testing facility that, yeah, like do something special with it. So that hence the fact that, have you got a little bit more to do? Yeah, you have a little bit of a line, haven't you? And it is that one, I believe. Yeah, so I mean, it's just it's tongue-in-cheek, it's cheeky, but you've got to be cheeky, and it is true in all sort of things of life. You know, you'll buy from one shop and it's cheap, you'll buy from another shop and it's medium, and you'll buy from another shop and it's like dear. It's just the way things are, and again, it's a little bit. It's not really thievery, but it's sort of putting things to people in a way that it's attractive. You know, I've got to be, I'll say that in a positive way. Now, I always think, to me personally, that service. I had an account manager at a very good company that sold tech. Now, that account manager and me had a relationship. As in, I'd known him from a long time. He knew me for a long time. Now, he looked after us. The schools that I worked at, I never realised how lucky they were to have me as the IT manager. And I'm going to, tell you what I mean by that. Is that actually getting it? It is as well. It's letting us do it. Why were we allowed to go on their field and do that? But waste not, want not. Let's throw that away. So I believe we are finished. Yeah, what I'm saying is, like, you can get away with charging a little more if the service you offer is better. Oh, I'm thinking, oh no, I didn't just go away with that. And I will willingly, I would go anywhere and pay a little bit higher, quite a bit higher, if the service I receive, especially like restaurants and things like that, is good. And I will tip you every single time, because my grandpa always taught me you've got a tip. But I don't tip you if you're lousy. If your service is terrible, you are not going to get a tip off me. No way, Jose. I missed a bit. But like, if your service is good and you're a good waiter and waitress, and you sort of like make all the right noises and you look after the family, you're going to get a tip off me, because that's the way that I was told it works. You reward good behaviour and you don't reward bad behaviour. So if you're a lousy like person and you're rubbish and you don't look after me and you like treat me with disrespect and my family with disrespect, or you're just picking your nose all the time, you like do, you know, all horrible things, and you're not giving any respect at all to, you know, like, yeah, the family, it's true, then I'm not going to give you a tip, because I'm not happy at all. So what I'm saying is, good behaviour needs rewarding, bad behaviour needs showing to be bad. You reward bad behaviour, and then you're gonna like reinforce the fact that it's okay to be bad, which is it's not. Right, let's get this off. And that's how it should all work. And if it did all work like that, then the world would be a better place. But as long as people think it's good to be bad, and they're taught that it's good to be bad, then you're gonna get like bad people doing bad things. And as well, it's a bit like, I mean, yeah, what was it? Yeah, a long time ago, people were talking about the ivory trade. I love animals. Always have loved animals. I think that's full. That's why it's not actually doing anything. I really do love animals. I always have done. And I love people that love animals. Yeah, I've massive respect for anybody who loves animals and looks after animals. And I hate it if someone is horrible to animals. It's just... yeah, real, right. And the other thing is, I've always found as a golden rule, if someone's cruel with animals, you can guarantee they're going to be cruel with humans as well. It sort of goes almost hand in hand that someone who's cruel with animals is not a very nice person, as a general rule of thumb. There are a few twisted individuals who might be, yeah, quite nice to humans, but like not. But I just, even as I'm saying the words, it doesn't go, I don't think that's right. I think if you're not a nice person, you're not nice to animals, you tend not to be nice to humans as well. I mean, there are some people who've had bad experiences with humans, and so therefore, right, yeah, no, we're not full. We can get that last little bit, and we shall whiz this into the, and we will have finished our harvest. But I mean, what I'm saying is, there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of people who think bad is good, and that's what I'm saying. That's why the world is in a mess. As the more corrupt any situation is, any country is, the more bad everything is. I nearly was there then. I think, are we there, or have we gone past it? Are we going to hit the silo because I've gone too far? No. Fantastic. That's why I found it difficult to work out, because you've got no real depth perception, have you? Fantastic. You see, now that was a good thing. Obviously, Giants have like gone for the 3D on a separate product than the real game. Now they could have added it. I mean, I bought the VR in FS22, and it was a lot better than 19. And I was dreaming about like doing content, but the trouble is, it's actually the resolution's more poor. So you're not really, if you could possibly show 3D on a 2D, it would be really fantastic. So really the only winner is you, like you that's viewing it, because to anybody else looking, the quality's not going to be very good. So I really soon worked this out. I thought, oh no, I'll stick to like the normal farming simulator rather than 3D, even though I'd spent a fortune on the goggles and all the goggles. Well, it's sort of goggles. Right, sticks away. So we hopefully this is not going to try and multiply. I don't know what happened to the wheat though. Why the wheat? I can't figure that one out, because we're not near any storage. Because I did see it first on. I've got Westbridge Hills in my the very first map that we got. All my life, that is well. Right, okay. I think we're gonna have to like drop back off. It's done something weird, hasn't it? It's crashing and burning. Try and level this up. Can we assist? If we do that level, I mean it's supposed to pull level, but what I mean is it's a bit more level than it was. Will that sort of, no, it doesn't. All my life, no, it's totally wrong. Right, okay. At the minute it's a little unstable. Drop that off, I think. We need to unload here, don't we, on the field, and we need to pick it up, because otherwise, so how do we do that? I say we need to be on that. We need to undo the doors, which is that one? Yeah, that is that one. Can we not tip? Oh, can we not? We can't, can we? Wow, I never realised that. Okay, so we're sort of we're stuck. Yeah, because it's not going to tip out, is it? You know, because of game mechanics. I'm sorry, you know, obviously, because that's a bit naughty, but obviously I'm just trying to fix all my life the problem with a very naughty mod that's misbehaving. So we need to, like, tip this out somehow. But I hope that this will sort of play. Oh, well, it's been a very interesting thing. We've talked the world good. If only it was that easy. I don't feel we'll somehow do it, but I'm sure you're going to like somehow do this. I think it's going to be a next session job because I think we need to load. Oh, it is loaded on. Oh, it is as it should be. It's like just. Let's try one more time. It won't work though. It's obviously it's not quite right. We'll try and get as level as possible and assist as much as we can, which that's not fairly bad. We'll stick that on. And hopefully next session it will have settled down and it won't have crashed quite as badly. Ooh, I think you didn't do a bad job of levelling up. Ooh, maybe we should see. Let's have a go. It's not too far. Ooh, bloody overturn. I think we've got the right thing selected. I think we should get it done. Yes, you can't force tip off this, which is yeah. Well, it didn't give us the option, but then it was crashing, so maybe it's, yeah. This will be fixed, I have no doubt. It is the base is much better. It was so heavy in FS25, so Royal Christie, in my eyes, has done a cracking job of that. Once that's fixed, it will be super duper. Yeah, I should carry on with the story about giants and the story about what was said on the forums that indicated that they're not quite as friendly to modders as you think. Which I already know that because obviously I'm a modder and I've seen a side to giants that's not so nice. You know what I mean? Like people say one thing but their actions and their words reveal something else completely different. So they give the face that they love modders and they look after modders. Well, not really. No, modders are very poor relatives. One comment on the forums reveals that. Yeah, I will carry on with this actually, yeah, because it does reveal something about giants that's not so nice really. And I've seen this myself firsthand when I've had horrible comments from the mod testing team that are like, don't spam the mod up. And you're like, what? How am I spamming the mod up? But giving you a thing where you say you like mods and that you love testing mods and all the rest of it, and that's your job, and that you're telling me not to spam the mod up. Why are you telling me that in such a horrible way? And all I've done is just spent time to try to make a mod and reveal it and to give it to you, who is supposed to like modders and supposed to. And this is my introduction to the world of modding. You being rude to me on the forums where no one can see this. Only me logging in can see that horrible rude comments that you've just left. But the face of the world, you're saying, oh yeah, we love modders, yeah, we reward modders for their mods. Yeah, some you do. Yeah, there's some like royalty modders that are like, again, Royal Christie, A2 Studios, they've gained giants respect, and yeah, they do sort of probably treat with them well, but like all the little modders that just come along, you treat as a very poor relative. And I will get to the proof of why I'm saying what I'm saying. If giants value modders so much, can you tell me why the toolkits that modders are given by giants are not the full toolkits? Now there's a comment made about fill planes and basically somebody was asking for help. A few people were asking for help with field planes so that they could do a really good mod. And they got a response back from one of Giant's teams to say, well, yeah, you just need to do this. You just need to, like, do this. And then he'd gone back, and obviously he'd spoken to, like, someone in his team, and they said, oh, but they don't have that available in the publicly released tool. And I thought, well, there you go. You've just summed it up. The bottom line is that real Giants are giving the modders an inferior tool than they've got themselves. And I'm like, well, there you are. That's the crux of the matter, isn't it? There's the real respect for modders. There isn't any. The bottom line is, you're given a far inferior toolkit than the Giants people have got. You're not taught properly. This is another thing that Lambo Mod said, and I do agree with him completely. Now, he doesn't really do mods other than for himself. He doesn't release them, I don't think, or he may be doing one that is, but he doesn't normally release them to the modder, because he obviously can see through the, you know, like the reality of how modders are really treated, and he doesn't even go for that. Again, I'm not speaking for him, but I might be totally wrong on this, but he was basically slating Giants for, like, they want you to use this new studio but this very poor documentation on it, and so that's where it falls down. Now, I've got to be honest, I tried myself to use the Giant studio the other day, and I've got to be honest, I bought the modding tutorial from Giants, and I'd said this. Now, when you're learning any skill, you need someone to go easy on you at the beginning. Now, Giants, they basically, like, treat you like you're an expert, and they say, yes, you do this, you do that, you do the other, and you're like, oh my life, I am overwhelmed by the amount of information. Could you not have broken that down a little bit easy for me? Because this is the first time I've ever had anything to do with modding, and you're, like, going at me as if I'm a genius, which I'm not. And again, that was it. There's no, like, going down to the level of a new learner, which you've got to go gently, and Giants were, like, going at it like you are, like they are. But the other thing is, you can't be like they are, because your toolkit's inferior, and they've done that on purpose. So where's the respect for a modder then, if you're giving them inferior tools that don't have part of the tools that your guys have got? So your guys are always going to make really good. Now, wouldn't it be more fair if you say that you like modders, that to actually reveal how you make mods, why you do your mix meshes, which really just stop modders actually tweaking around? Now, I'm making mods from scratch because I can then do things with my mods. Where, I mean, don't get me wrong, Giants do it, I think, to save space as well, because it compresses. The one thing I've learned from Blender, if I go into Blender and I, like, just grab a model and I completely change it, it's going to be massive, and Giants are going to say it's too big for the i3D. So there's got to be a way that you can press it, which obviously is what Giants are doing. So anyway, sorry to rant about this, but it does annoy me when people profess to be friendly when really their actions show that they're not. Then, yeah, and I hate that kind of hypocrisy, and I will always, that's why I say I'll probably never ever be a partner of Giants, because I'm not sure that I would want to be, whilst they're as, you know, like, two-faced as they are. You know, like, say one thing and then their other side reveals that they're not living up to what they're saying at all. They're absolutely an enemy of modders in some ways. But it's the way of the world, isn't it, really, I suppose. But that's where we're going to leave it. Yeah, so no, I'm going to do my normal summing up, I think. This is going to be probably over a couple of sessions, because this is going to be a monster, it really is. Yeah, so all that remains to be said is thank you very much for... No, it is. Yeah, it's the end. Thank you very much for watching. Apologies if I ranted on a little bit too much, but it is true. You can't... Balance is required, and if you're, like, going to make bad goods and make it sexy and appealing, then expect the worst, because you're going to train every single person to be that good is bad and bad is good. So you've got to reinforce positive behaviour and punish negative behaviour, which is the way that it worked when the world worked properly. So someone who's bad has got to be punished, and someone who's good has got to be, like, given benefits. That way it reinforces positive reinforcement that good behaviour is to be rewarded and bad behaviour is to be punished is the way to go to train everybody to be good. You'll not do it because some people like to be bad, but what I mean is for the rest of us and those who are a bit in the middle, that's the best way to handle the world, really, and then you won't be too bad an individual. Right, anyway, preaching out of the way. Apologies, yeah. I feel strongly about it, I suppose, really. It isn't always easy to try to do the right thing, but it's the right thing to do. Right, and on that note, I must say goodbye for now.